Welcome to Declutter Your Life. I'm your host, Andrew Mellen, and today's topic is hopefully going to really help you set yourself free on those days when you don't feel your best. You don't feel fierce, you don't feel ready to take on the world, and that can be okay. I want to talk to you about those days when you're feeling puny, when you're not feeling very motivated, and where just getting through the day and not making more clutter is the win. That can be good enough. Now, you know and I know that that isn't supposed to be every day, right? The goal is not to just limp through life. We're looking for more time, more money, more freedom in our lives. We are not looking for average. We are not average people. We want great results for ourselves, and we know that we are capable of excellence. So that's the baseline. And there are days when just not making more mess is good enough. You know when those days are. I mean, you need a mental health day, you need a day off, but it's only a day off. It's not a week off. It's not a month off. It's not, oh shit, it's been 3 months since I X, Y, or Z. I put my keys away, or I found my mobile phone at the first time when I was looking for it, or I knew where the paper towels were, or whatever it might be. The individual example is not as important as the concept, which I hope that you're getting from this. There are days when it will be okay to just not make more mess. That isn't a get out of jail free card. It doesn't give you a pass to just phone it in. You know in your heart of hearts whether you are really puny or you're just letting yourself off the hook. We talk in another episode of the podcast about external accountability. So avail yourself of accountability when you need it. And if you need the day off, give yourself permission for the day off. You don't have to beat up on yourself. You don't need to shame yourself or humiliate yourself or start to tell any of your 200 lies about, what a fuck up you are, or like you can't do anything, right? If on that day off you start to talk in absolutes like, I never get anything done, this always happens to me, that should be a red flag to you that you are definitely telling one of your 200 lies, and you need to knock that crap off. But on those days when you just need to order in some food and curl up on the sofa and watch Netflix, as long as when you're done doing that, you put the empty food containers, you rinse them out and put them in the recycle bin, or you throw them away. You put the remote control back where the remote control goes. You fold up the Afghan and put it on the back of the sofa or where it lives, and you take your mobile phone and charge it or put it where it belongs. That day is a zero-sum day. You didn't make more mess, you didn't move the needle forward, but you didn't create a bigger problem for yourself tomorrow. That, for me, can be a win of a day. We don't always need to be living at peak performance. So many podcasts, so many coaches and motivational speakers and thought leaders will present this idea that we're supposed to be living at peak performance all the time, right? Every moment is precious and every moment has to be maximized. And nobody can live at that. That's not a sustainable pace. You can't live at that pitch, right? I mean, Michael Phelps, who I've talked about in other podcast episodes, he's a 19 times gold medalist. There are times when he just relaxes too, right? Richard Branson, Elon Musk, and Warren Buffett. Unfortunately, all those are men. Oprah Winfrey, right? The examples are not gender specific. People that we look at that are captains or queens of industry, they also know how to not work and make themselves crazy. So you don't have to push yourself to some unreasonable limit where you will burn out and then become resentful and never have the motivation to engage in your life. That's not a recipe for success. So in closing, I just want to circle back to this idea and remind you that you can take a day off. You can pause if you need to. Just make the commitment to yourself that in that day that you are pausing and taking a break, you don't make more mess. That is completely acceptable and a fine way to spend a day when needed, if needed. You have certainly my permission, not that you need it, and you ought to be able to give yourself permission for one of those days as long as you don't make more mess. It's completely acceptable, and there should be room in your calendar for that kind of a day. So most of the time we want to be knocking it out of the park. There are some days when it will be good enough to not just make more mess. That is today's episode. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to being with you again real soon.